Feature support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Bakersfield West Rotary Stroop Family Foundation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, Kern High School District, and AC Electric Company, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
Coming at you from the campus of Curran Middle School in Bakersfield, California, it's the final quarterfinal contest here at the Do the Math Robot Rumble. Today, we'll see the St. Francis Chargers taking on the home team, the Kern Crusaders, and their robot, Bob. It's Robot Rumble time today on Do the Math!
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Do the Math. I'm Michael.
I'm Marylou.
And in studio we have Nora and Audrey with us. And Nora, if somebody wanted to get a hold of us, what would they need to do?
For math homework help, call
in Bakersfield 636-4357.
toll free 1-866-636-6284.
Email dothemath@curran.org.
We're online at dothemathonline.net.
And on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
That was perfectly done. First time you've ever done that, correct?
Yes.
On live TV. Right, there you go, nicely done. So there are a variety of ways to get a hold of us here at Do the Math. We do have math tutors available until 5:30 on most Tuesdays and Wednesdays throughout the regular school year, and we've got about a month left.
Yep.
So we go all the way until the end of March, and then we are through for this season. But we are available today and tomorrow. We have a lot going on today, but I think we ought to do one math problem really quickly.
Yes.
All right, so Audrey, you're working on area of trapezoids, correct?
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at the first problem that you have in your book for your homework. It says, find the area of the trapezoid, and we've got some different measurements in inches here. And we've got that written up on the board, and what we'd like you to do is kind of explain to Marylou the process about finding the area for a trapezoid. And if you get stuck, Marylou's right there.
Okay, Audrey, what do we have here? What shape is it primarily right here?
A trapezoid.
It's a trapezoid. But we also have some dotted lines. Why? Why do you think we have these dotted lines?
Because it makes a parallelogram.
Yeah, it kind of makes a parallelogram, doesn't it? And it's also almost like mirrored, huh? So how do we solve a trapezoid?
You do 9 plus 2 times 7.
Okay, so these are our bases, right? So we have obviously our top base and our bottom base, right? So what you're saying is that you want to first, our base, I'm going to say base 1 plus base 2. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of the formula you're following. So once you add those, what was the other?
You multiply it by the height.
Okay, so we're going to multiply it by the height. And is that the only steps for this?
No, and once you get that, you have to cut it in half.
We're going to cut it in half. So there's two ways we can write this. We can say divide by 2, right, because we're cutting it in half. Or some teachers ask you to multiply by a half, right? So either way is a correct method. Okay, so can you work this out for us, putting it into that formula? So the first thing you're saying is what?
9 times 2.
Or 9 plus 2, right?
9 plus 2.
Okay. And then what are we going to do with the 11?
We're going to multiply it by 7.
Okay. And then what was the last step again?
To cut it in half.
Okay, let's cut that in half.
I'm going to multiply.
So keep going. Are you going to do a remainder or a decimal? What's your...
I'm going to do a decimal.
Okay, so don't forget your decimal point. So what's our final answer?
38.5.
Okay, 38 and 5/10, right? So again, why are we cutting it in half? Because it's almost like a trapezoid is half of a parallelogram, right? So that's why we're cutting it in half, because if I took this right here, okay, and I stuck it right here, what's 9? What's 9 plus 2?
11.
Right? We have our 11, and we know with the parallelogram, it's length times height, right? And we know 11 times 7 is what?
77.
77. So if it was a parallelogram, the whole thing would be, area would be 77, right? But this trapezoid is half of that parallelogram, and that's why you're taking half. So can you write that out correctly with the units and everything? Our final answer, our area equals what? What's your answer right there?
38.5
Right? 5/10 what? What's our units?
inches.
Inches what? We're finding the area.
Square.
Or squared inches, right? Okay, let's put that in there. And there you go. That is why you're taking half of the trapezoid, right? When you're doing it out, because it's really half of a parallelogram.
Yeah.
There you go. Nicely done, ladies.
Good job.
First problem of the day. Hey, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30 this afternoon, but time now for today's Math in the News. Well, today's Math in the News, fortunate enough, we have somebody to come visit us here in the Do the Math studio. We have Andrea Hansen. How are you today?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm excellent. You are with Kern Dance Alliance.
That's right.
First of all, explain what Kern Dance Alliance is.
That's right. So we're a nonprofit organization, and what nonprofit means is that we're a charity. We provide a service to Kern County. So we're a nonprofit organization that supports and promotes dance and the arts all throughout Kern County.
And this is Arts Week here on Do the Math, because tomorrow we have the Kern Arts Council coming in to visit us also. So a lot of people are familiar with the STEM, right? But we also like to include STEAM, so we have the A, the arts in all of that also.
That's right.
So somebody might be looking, going, all right, Kern Dance Alliance, you guys are a nonprofit. Do you teach kids how to dance? What do you guys do?
Right. So, in fact, we are not a dance studio and we're not a dance company. Rather, we support nearly 90 different dance organizations through Kern County, from ballet dancers to modern dancers to hip-hop dancers and tap dancers, Basque dancers, flamenco dancers, all kinds of dancers throughout Kern County. We provide them financial assistance to not only take dance classes throughout Kern County, but to also do really cool dance projects all throughout the country.
Okay. Do you dance?
I used to dance. People
I'm
ask
sure
me
you
that
can
all the
dance
time.
right now.
I
If you used to
totally-
dance, I'm sure you can dance again.
I'm not in the studio often. I spend more time behind the computer dancing
We'll
these
get to
days.
that in a minute. But I know when you guys first started, we had you on a little while ago. We actually went out and visited you, and we took a look at what you guys did. Explain to how you work with students in applying dance and math together.
That's right. So did you know that dance is very mathematical? The truth is you will never find a dancer not counting. You always hear them say 5, 6, 7, 8. It's because they're constantly going over counts in their head to help them remember movement. So we actually have a program that teaches girls math through dance, girls 6th to 8th grade. We know that
We
girls...
have a 6th and an 8th grade student here with us. That's perfect.
We know that students learn in all different types of ways, and some students learn by sitting in a chair with a pen and paper, some students learn by listening, some students learn by reading, but some things that students don't know, they can also learn by moving.
Okay.
And so what Kern Dance Alliance does, we host Shine for Girls, Math plus Dance equals Success, and we literally teach girls algebra, pre-algebra, PEMDAS, geometry, statistics, all math through dancing. It's a kinesthetic experience where they get up and they learn algebraic equations while dancing. It's pretty cool.
And if somebody wanted to participate in this, like how long is that program, or how do they participate in? How long is it? Things like that.
So it's an application process. It is every fall. So you will find Shine for Girls offered this fall for 8 weeks on Saturdays, starting in September and ending in November. It is a free program, and applications open on August 1st. You can head on over to kerndance.org/shine, SHINE, and learn more information about the program.
Have you girls danced before?
On my trampoline.
On your trampoline? Well, that's one way to start, right?
Yeah.
Do you think you have any interest in maybe learning how to dance? Right, you might be like, hey, you know what, it might be kind of cool. I mean, you girls are the perfect age that they're talking about.
Well, that's right, because studies show that girls 6th to 8th grade either make it or break it in terms of their confidence in math. So we know that girls, right now, you're either really feeling confident in what you're doing or not feeling so confident. And if it's not cemented in those grades, 6th to 8th grade, unfortunately, statistics show that if you're not confident in math, you likely will not continue to be successful in math through college, through high school, and then into college. And we know math is so important for us just to be successful people,
Right, and
from our
anything you wanna
finances,
do,
anything.
You're going to need math.
Yes.
And so what Kern Dance Alliance is doing is helping to put these programs together to help solidify those concepts that they're learning in schools and have them gain more confidence in their mathematical abilities.
That's right, and there's a reason why it's an all-girls environment. We don't have the distraction from boys in the classroom. And in fact, the individuals that teach the program for us are high school and college level women. So they're mentoring the girls not only as mathematicians, but they're helping to build the girls' confidence through dancing.
Okay. Do you have anything coming up that kids need to know about?
Well, what's most important is that Kern Dance Alliance, we are celebrating our 5th anniversary this year, and we have lots of really cool programs.
Because I remember when you guys just started up, and we were talking about it, and we went out and filmed you guys and stuff, and 5 years has flown by.
It has. We've served almost 30,000 people in Kern County through all of our programs. It's been a really, really great ride, and we're so happy that the community supports us. And it's all about showing this community that we can use dance as a vehicle to make an impact in people's lives. We have a program that teaches children how to read through dance. We have a program for children with socio and economic disadvantages. We have a program for children with disabilities. We have therapy programs for Alzheimer's and cancer and pediatrics patients. We have all kinds of different programs that uses dance beyond the stage and beyond the studio.
All right, well, you know what? Once more, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you guys, where would they need to go?
So you want to go to kerndance.org. That is where you can find all the information. And I think the last thing we want to tell everybody, if you are a student out there and you're interested in taking a dance class, Kern Dance Alliance can give you a scholarship to take a dance class anywhere in Kern County. So maybe you're interested in taking a tap class. Email Kern Dance at info@kerndance.org. Let us know your age and why you want to take a dance class, and we might surprise you at school with a scholarship.
That'd be awfully exciting right there. All right, well, you know what? I'm going to let you show the girls a couple of dance moves in a moment. But just a reminder, that is today's Math in the News. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. We'll go out right now for our first peek at today's Robot Rumble.
Hey, thanks a lot. Welcome. Devin Rossiter and Tom Anderson here. It's the final quarterfinal matchup. One more spot on the line at the Do the Math Robot Rumble. Here we are. It's been a wonderful ride so far.
Oh, it has. Been a lot of fun. Been real exciting. When we started, I had no idea it was going to turn into this much fun.
We've got 3 schools already lined up for our grand final. You've got Rosedale Middle School.
Right.
You've got Chipman Junior High, as well as Rio Bravo Greeley. We've got one more spot available, and it's going to be between our 2 squads here,
Today.
St. Francis and Curran.
Yes.
Very diverse approaches towards the robot's design process.
Exactly.
One actually is going to be working with kind of a loner bot based on some scenarios.
Right. Yeah. They weren't able to get their robot back together in time, so they were able to get a loner robot. So that was really nice.
Very quick reminder of how we're going to lay things out as far as the scoring today. You'll see the cubes on the play field as well as corner scoring zones. The idea is to get cubes into the scoring zones, 1 point for each cube.
Right.
However, you can earn multipliers by picking up these cubes and placing them in the towers.
In the towers. Yeah, the corresponding color. So if you put an orange one in, only the orange one multiplies. So.
Very interesting approaches from both of these teams, and both very similar in their designs with a claw bot. However, the design of the claw appears to be very different based on the teams from Curran and St. Francis.
Correct, yes. And you'll notice that the Kern robot's using the V5 system, which is a faster, more robust system The V4 on your Cortex system on the St. Francis robot is the what you'd call old school, but it's a little more bulletproof.
Old school, new school, and
yep.
there's a lot at stake here. Now,
Exactly.
Now, in addition to the final spot, we'll know at the end of the day where the teams will line up as far as their pairings based on the scores. So,
Correct.
I can see no better way to kick things off with our cumulative scored quarterfinal here than to kick off round 1 of our competition. We'll do 3 rounds of about 1:45 each.
Correct.
So, with that said, we are ready to go in our first round between Curran in the red side and St. Francis in the blue. And we are go. St. Francis looking to get this cube closest to them. Kern already has that grip in place. They've got their first cube in the corner for the first point of the afternoon. Now, interesting, it looks like we have a tall carry here. They were trying over here on the St. Francis side
for the gusto.
to bring for the whole tower. Able to get an orange. Now they're maneuvering into their corner, and they've got it in. Can they drop it off? Where's the release? There it is. So we are tied currently at 1-1. Full release. They kept it in. Spinning a little bit as they're trying to figure out the control. Now, Curran's got their second orange.
Second one. It looks like they might be going for a tower.
We'll see if they're able to raise it up. That is a component. That's something they mentioned early on today, is that today was going to be the day where they tried out the towers with a little bit of a redesign on their claw. Can they get it in?
And
Almost tips over
It
front-wise.
does. Interestingly enough, they're going to actually help Curran if they can get that in there.
So
Or
absolutely.
help St. Francis, I'm sorry.
So St. Francis has their second cube in. Can they back out of the corner? Almost getting it in on the Curran
Almost.
side.
Oh, there it
Can
is.
they drop it
Yep,
off and release?
Maybe.
Is it in there? Let's see. And still, we'll have our first multiplier here. Currently, it's a 2-1 St. Francis lead. It's just about in there, and there we go. Now, we have a 4-2 game now,
4-2 game.
since everybody's oranges are multiplied with 23 seconds left to go. Now, maybe you go ahead and see if you can get yourself a little bit of a different color look. In fact, that's what St. Francis is going to do.
That's what they're trying.
They're going to give themselves a little bit of an advantage, but if Kern can get this last orange in, that might play in for them. No, they're going to maneuver into the other side here with 5 seconds left to go. 4, 3, 2, 1, and that will do it for the end of our first round. So, for the first time, really, this season, we've seen those towers come into play.
Exactly.
Kern able to
Yes.
get it up into their nearest side, and they let the colors determine which one they would go to. Let's go ahead and visit with our crew. So, we mentioned early on, as we talked with driver Liz Marie, we were able to get our first cube into the tower. However, that ended up creating a little bit of a gap scoring-wise, where St. Francis now, instead of simply a 1-point lead to 1, it's doubled up. Now we're at 4-2. Tell us a little bit about what it took to get that cube into that tower.
I mean, it was really hard because we haven't really ever made it into there, so we had to practice practice it a lot. So once we got it, we were actually really happy because it was our first time actually make it in there.
Now, I believe this ends up being also the second shortest tower. You have one all the way on the far side in your color for the red side, but proximity to the goals is what led you to focus on this tower. Is that something that now you might consider putting different multipliers in, or now do you have to start to be very mindful of the colors that they're utilizing and maybe go in a different direction?
Well, we're just trying to get the color of that one into these, and then maybe adding more colors onto it.
So they're sticking with a single color early on and hoping to expand beyond that if they have a little bit more success. Right now, you enter round 2, trailing by 2, as we visit with our friends over at St. Francis, the Chargers. So, early on, we saw the first cubes kind of go in at the same time. You got your second orange in, and then what were your thoughts as they placed that orange cube in the tower?
As they placed the orange cube in the tower, I was going to try and get a green cube. That way it wouldn't... we were just trying to switch the color.
Now, is there an opportunity, since you're really still kind of feeling out this spot, it's kind of on loan to get you into the competition today, but, what are your thoughts as far as the grip and the maneuverability so far?
It works. Yeah. It works pretty well.
We added our own grip.
Yeah.
So
We
it's actually helped a lot.
But the license plate actually slowed us down
Yes.
just then, and we're going to have to fix that, put it up really quick.
Yeah.
Well, you've got time to make that adjustment, and it seems like now that you're comfortable enough with the grip and the maneuverability, those towers may come into play, so you might have a bit more control. But right now, you've got control. It's 4-2 heading into our second round. When we come back, it'll be round 2 between Kern and St. Francis. Send it right back to the studio. Mike, take it away.
All right, thanks for that demo. We'll check in with you guys in just a moment. Time now for Nora to get busy. So, young lady, over to the board. So, a globe is a map of Earth shaped as a sphere. So you're working with spheres. What is the volume to the nearest tenth of a globe with a diameter of 16 inches?
Okay, so what information do you need to know to solve this problem?
Well, we need the radius.
Okay, we need the radius, but what information was given to us?
The diameter.
Okay, so what is our radius?
8.
Okay, how did you get that?
Well, the radius is half of the diameter, so 16 divided by 2.
Okay, so we need our radius, okay. What other information do we need to solve this problem?
We need pi?
Yep, why do we need pi?
I'm not sure.
Well, when do we always use pi? We use it when we have a what?
Area?
Or a circle, right?
Yeah.
We use pi whenever we have a circle because we also can use pi for just not area, but for the circumference as well, right? Mm-hmm. So whenever we see a circle, we know automatically we're using pi, right? So we know that we need the radius, we know we need pi. What would be the formula to solve this?
Do you want me to write it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So 4 pi, then the radius, and cubed, and then we divide it by 3.
Okay, we're going to divide it by 3. So do you know where this 4 comes from?
No.
Okay, we know where the pi comes from, right?
Yeah.
The pi comes from because it's a circle.
Yes.
Okay, think of a baseball, okay? If you were to take that baseball and open it up, okay, it actually makes 4 circles. That's where we're getting the 4 from, because it's like 4 circles that come together that make that sphere. So that's where our 4 is coming from, okay? And then again, because we're dealing with volume, and volume's always cubed, okay? We're coming in with our 3's.
Yes.
Okay, so how do we plug in to solve this?
Well, pi is 3.14, and then we have our radius, which is 8, and cubed, and then 3.
I'm going to stick a multiplication
yeah.
there. There we go. Okay, so this is a common mistake I know that a lot of students make. They'll go 4 multiplied by pi multiplied by 8, then cube it all.
Yeah.
Why do you think they're doing that?
Because if you cube it all, then you're going to get a really high answer than if you just cubed the radius.
Yeah, because the cube is only connected to what? It's only connected to the radius. It's not connected to the whole entire equation. Okay, so go ahead and solve it. Talk me through it.
Okay, so first I'm just going to multiply 4 and pi, which is 12.56, and then I'm going to cube 8. I'm not sure what that is.
Well, let's work it out.
Well, that'll be 512.
Okay.
We're going to use tools to make your life easier.
Oh, you're lucky today.
512, so we don't need to cube anymore, and we still need to divide by 3.
Okay, so Mike, what is these two numbers multiplied together?
We will have 6,430.72.
Okay, and then we will divide it, by 3.
Okay.
And that will get you 2,143.5. Okay, so 2143.573. So you guys can figure out how you want to round this, because the directions did say to the nearest tenth.
Yes. So we take the 7 and we round it to the 5.
So is the 5 going to stay a 5, or are we rounding it up?
It becomes a 6. We round it up.
Okay, so let's go ahead and write our answer down here. Let's leave our 5 there because that's our answer, right?
Yes.
So let's go ahead and write our final answer here, rounded to the nearest tenth.
So,
Oh, I think I put the decimal wrong. I
Yeah, you moved it
apologize.
over one spot,
I
that's
moved it
fine.
over.
so V, or volume, equals 2,143.6
Because we have to round
inches
it. Inches what?
cubed.
There you go. Because volume is always
Cubed.
and that's different than area, like your sister did, right?
Yes.
There you go,
All right.
nicely done. Great problem right there. And for some great problems, you girls both have got yourself a couple of passes to any athletic event, courtesy of CSB Athletics. So a lot of different sports going on, especially at this time of the year. Well, you know what? Do the Math had an opportunity to go visit Frank West School the other night. Fun, food, and math at Frank West Elementary's Math Night was this past Thursday. Kids of all ages were in attendance, parents too, engaged in various math games and activities. Students got a close-up look at the wonders of 3D printing and the models that the unit can produce, what the technology can do, and the promise it holds. A popular station, hands-on with some interactive robots, students created lines, squares, circles, or other geometric shapes on paper, and then set the little droids free where they followed the hand-drawn paths. There was estimating, guessing the number of items in jars, and a whole lot more with that. And Do the Math was present. Susie was there, and they were doing the Plinko board. And it was a great evening for everyone there. Congratulations to Frank West Principal Russ Taylor for a great event that we were certainly proud to be part of. So once again, congratulations to a wonderful event at Frank West School. Hey, you know what? We have one more opportunity we'll go check out with the Robot Rumble.
Thanks a lot. Welcome back here at Curran Middle School. It's the final quarterfinal matchup here for the Robot Rumble, getting set for our grand final next month. Devin Rossiter, Tom Anderson. You know, a tale of two breaks in between periods here. Curran team calm, cool, collected, starting to kind of cull a strategy, less on robot design, while the St. Francis team furiously updating and manipulating the device that they've got to work with.
Exactly. And that's some of the problem with having the older style equipment, is that it breaks. So, but they worked at it, got it all together, and they're back in running shape again.
It was interesting to hear them talk before we started taping today. One of the challenges that they saw was the grip on the new claw. And it's not necessarily a traditional grip, as much as it seems to be two silicone wrapped like spatulas that will just smash together to grab a cube.
Yeah. Which is a forklift design, right? So that it actually works.
Now, interestingly enough, talking with the team at Curran before the competition as well, their goal, their strategy, grab that closest cube, get the point on the board, and then see if you can get that into play. That ended up working against them as far as the point differential in our first round.
It did. And it'll be interesting to see if they change their strategy.
Well, especially since the main design change that they've implemented, as they talked to us about, was the angle of the claw. At first, it had been kind of a straightforward grab. Now that they've been able to angle it from the top down, that might give them access to some of the lower towers. Yeah, we saw the tallest one over here nearby.
Yes.
But over here, we haven't really seen these utilized.
At
They're
all.
team specific, and they are the shortest stacking towers on the field.
Correct. Now, the only thing about this is they are team specific, meaning that the blue team can't D-score in this red tower. However, the point still counts for the blue team if they have that color cube.
Well, let's see how the designs and changes have come into play as we get set. Currently, St. Francis with a 4-2 overall lead with one round under their belts. As we get set for round two. All right, 3, 2, 1. Right away, a quick shove, and Curran has pushed their cube right in, but unable to keep it in play as they try very early on to get back on the scoreboard. And we see orange with Curran, we see green with St. Francis. Now, meanwhile, it looks like they've got one in. They're going to push that second one in and use that claw maybe as kind of a bulldozer.
Right.
It's not quite all the way in. They do have 1 point, but not quite the second as they keep trying to tap it through. St. Francis is able to get their one, not quite in all the way, but Curran able to get their second in. So, as it stands right now, we're tied as they push one in now. Regain the advantage, 5-4 St. Francis. Now, very different colors in each corner.
Yes, this time.
Curran's going for the orange cube again.
There you go.
Can they get the advantage? That will be tremendous if able to do so. Meanwhile, St. Francis, they're going to try to stack, unable to drop it down in place. They're stuck on that wedge with 43 seconds. Can't quite get it in. Almost tipped it over, but part of their redesign was a rear stabilizing leg set in the back. So they don't tip over, but they did drop it with 32 seconds left to go. Right now, it is a 5-4 overall total advantage. However, Curran's got the round lead so far at 2-1. Some more knocked over with 19 seconds. They're going to try to push. Maybe they try to stack here to get one more up on the board. 13 seconds left to go. Frantic changes and decisions to be made here with 8 seconds. They're not going to be able to push that one in either side with 3 seconds left to go. It's not going to be a snug fit, and that will do it for round 2.
Yes, 5-4.
So 5-4 is the overall total score for St. Francis at the end of 2 rounds. However, we did see Kern pull out the victory in round 2 with a 2-1 point advantage.
Correct,
So right
yes.
now, both teams with 1 round under their belt. That ends up being the tiebreaker if we end up with a total cumulative score tie at the end of round 3.
Yeah.
So very interesting.
And we could go to a tiebreaker.
Wouldn't be the first time this
Wouldn't be
season.
the first time.
Let's check in with our crew from Curran. So, whereas the tower ended up creating that gap in round 1, because both squads had 2 different colors, you made a very quick play for that tower. Almost fell over in doing so. So, tell us a little bit about that experience. When you noticed that there was going to be a struggle to get that orange cube in this tower.
Well, that purple cube right there, that was the problem. It stopped the wheel from moving forward, so we really couldn't put the thing in. So we just we tried to get the orange cube into that, but we ended up failing.
And you didn't spend too much time in trying to recover that because you saw what was left on the clock. So then the goal became to try to get a 3rd one in. What were some of the challenges you've noticed with trying to get that additional point on the board?
Well, we had the cube inside the claw, but when trying to lift it, it like slipped out, so we couldn't pick it up and move it into there.
Has this team been able to stack cubes within the scoring zone this season?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so trying to go back to that when the tower doesn't come into play. But you saw the alignment and you did close that gap, only trailing behind 1, and you do have a round in your pocket. Let's check in with St. Francis. Interestingly enough, the green cubes ended up kind of looking through. We favored one corner, and there was an attempt at a stack. Walk us through kind of the sequence of round 2.
So our first thing that we tried to do was put just one block in, and then our second attempt is we tried to stack it. But like I was having trouble with opening the claw and closing it, which might be either something to do with the cords or it could have to do with the battery. And from then on out, I was just trying to push as much blocks in as possible, but
a lot of the play so far has focused on this corner, this scoring zone here. Was there any conversation on the team about maybe wrapping and going over to this corner here to try to get at least an additional point on the board?
Well, actually, that tower right there, if we score a green or any color in that tower, it does not count for them. So we could score something in that tower.
Technically, it does.
Oh, it does?
It does, yes. I want to make sure you have that information correct because that
sorry,
might change your strategy. Now, they can't take it out of this tower, but if you put an orange in there, it's their points that get doubled. Important clarification and good to have going into a critical round 3 with the final quarterfinal spots into the grand final on the line. It's a close one. 1 point's the difference. The lead for St. Francis over Kern. We'll send it right back to the studio when we come back. It's the final round of the quarterfinals. Mike, take it away.
All right, thanks for that, Devin. Do remember we have phone tutors available until 5:30 this afternoon. We have Nora, an 8th grade student, and Aubrey, a 6th grade student, in studio with us. We'll be doing some more math with them, and we'll do it right after this. Today we're at Quailwood Elementary, home of the Cougars, and we're here to... All right, once again, we're with the 6th grade students at Quailwood Elementary. We've been talking a little bit about tessellations, patterns, and how mathematics and art can tie in together and you can make nice artwork out of that, right? So now we're going to look at some patterns and putting things in order. So you all have, I believe it is 7 names, correct? So make sure you have 7 different names. All right? So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to put those 7 names in order. What order are you putting them in?
ABC order.
You're putting them in alphabetical order?
Yeah.
Excellent. Put them in alphabetical order.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, K, A, B, J, and then J, K. This one, yeah. J, and then K, and then Kevin. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
Well, this is like a bonus, right? Because we're here to do math tonight. You guys are putting stuff in ABC order. So by all means, if that's the way you want to do that. All right. So now we'll get down to what I need you to do. So here you have 6 clues. All right. So with your partner, look at the 6 clues, and I want you to put these students in the correct order that they need to be in. All right? So read one of the clues. Read the first clue. Yeah, see, so Jose was disappointed he couldn't be next to John. So are they going to be next to each other? Right, so Jose and John, the way you've got those right there, that's not going to work, right? So the ABC order thing isn't going to work, right? So with your partner, put them into order and let's see if you guys can figure out the correct order.
John and Lauren are standing on the ends.
Does anybody think they have them yet?
Oh, I got it. I got it. Otis. No.
Any group finished? What about you girls? Are you ready? Yeah. You think so? All right, let's take a look at the first one. Read the first one out loud.
Keisha's almost the tallest. Otis is almost the shortest.
Okay, so let's take a look first. Keisha is almost the tallest. So here, this says Keisha is the tallest. So can she be there?
No.
No. So maybe just rearrange those two, right? So now, Keisha's almost the tallest, right? Otis is almost the smallest, shortest, right? So Otis is down there. Jose is not next to John. And they're not, are they? So that satisfies. Read the next one if you would.
Kevin has 3 kids on the side of him on the picture. We're standing next to him.
Okay, so Kevin is in the middle. So Kevin has 3 on each side. So take a look at where Kevin is. He has 2 and 4. So what do you need to do with Kevin? Maybe try that and see if it works. So right now, these 2 still work, don't they? All right. So let's take a look at the next one.
John and Luann are standing on the ends. Jose and Angela are not next to each other.
Okay, so John and Luann are on the ends. You have that. All right. Jose and Angela are not next to each other. They're not, are they? All right. You're 3 out of 3. All right. So keep going. We're going to check right here first and see.
Otis is the only boy sitting between 2 girls.
So Otis is between 2 girls.
Luann and Jose. So.
Well, it's not between 2 girls, is it?
No, it's a girl and a boy.
Right. So we're going to need to fix that. So keep working on that. You guys think you've got it? Mm-hmm. Now we just saw the one that they were working on. Otis is between 2 girls. Do you have Otis between 2 girls?
No. John? No.
You have Otis between 2 girls?
Angela.
All right, let's take a look. All right, so let's go through them. Keisha is almost the tallest.
So she can be.
Otis is almost the smallest. That's fine. Jose and John are not next to each other. Kevin is in the middle.
3.
Perfect. John and Luann are on the ends. Perfect. Jose and Angela are not next to each other. Perfect. Otis is between 2 girls.
Otis.
Angela did not stand next to her best friend.
Angela. Jose. No. Nope.
Okay. The students are from tallest to shortest. There are 7. Angela and Luann are best friends. Are Angela and Luann standing next to each other?
No.
So there you go. We've got to complete the 6th grade students at Quellwood Elementary. And a big thanks to the students over at Quellwood Elementary who had a great time doing some math with the Cougars over there at Quellwood. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. We've got Audrey and Nora in studio with us right now. Right now we're going to have Audrey, and you're a 6th grade student. Remind everybody where you go to school.
Discovery Elementary.
Discovery Elementary. All right. Well, I think you discovered a new way to solve your problem, didn't you? Over to the board, young lady. Let's read this one. A cake is made out of 2 identical trapezoids. Both trapezoids have a height of 11 inches and a base of 9 and 14. So the height is 11, the bases are 9 and 14. What is the area of 1? Because there are 2 to make the cake, but we want to know the area of 1. So Audrey, explain this to us.
So first, I did 14 plus 9, which is 23. And then instead of cutting it in half after I've done everything, I cut it in half, this in half before I multiply it by 11.
So you cut the base in half.
Yes.
Okay. So what are we going to do with the 11 and 5/10 then?
We're going to multiply it by 11.
By the height?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and do that right here. So is this your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay, 126 and 5/10 what?
Inches squared.
Inches. Okay, so let me see this real quick. Now we said there's 2, right? That we had 2. Let's see if it'll let me do some colors. So we have 2, right? So if we did this.
So you've got about 30 seconds left.
Okay, 30 seconds left. Here we go. Because now we have our 2 identical, right? So you're just cutting this in half is what you're doing, right? You're taking this and you're just cutting this in half to find the area of half of that trapezoid, which you're finding is a quicker way to get to your answer, right? That's awesome.
There you go, nicely done. Always new ways to solve math problems. And for your great effort, you've got yourself a meal courtesy of our friends at Growth and Yield Cafe, so congratulations on that. Phone tutors are here until 5:30. We've got Nora in studio also, and we'll do some more right after this.
Hey, welcome back to Curran Middle School. It is round 3 of the final quarterfinal matchup of the Do the Math Robot Rumble. Devin Rossiter, Tom Anderson. We're going to know by the end of this matchup what our grand finals are going to look like. Exactly. We've already got Shipman, Rosedale, Rio Bravo, Greeley waiting. Right. We're going to know who's going to join them and what those pairings are going to be.
Oh, what they're going to be, how it's going to work out, yes.
So, very interesting layout right now. St. Francis with an overall total 5-4 lead. However, each team has 1 round that they've gotten under their belts.
Yes. So it'll be interesting to see which way we go.
One of the things that St. Francis mentioned that they wanted to kind of play around with was the idea that the towers may not be in play because of their unfamiliarity with their loner bot that they've been able to compete with. However, they've started to toy around with that idea and test it out now that they're more comfortable with the grip.
Right. So we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. I know that they were having little problems with that grabber that last match, so we'll see what happens with it.
Meanwhile, the design and ability to change with the needs really came into play and supported with Curran, as we noticed in their attempt at the tower, almost fell backwards, but an adjustment they made, the rear leg stabilizers kept them alive.
Alive and going, yes. Could have been disaster.
There is so much on the line here. It's a 1-point overall lead for the St. Francis Chargers as we get set for round 3. Final adjustments being made. Boy, everybody is right up to the wire here.
There we go.
I think we are just about ready. So much at stake here, so many possibilities. Let's lay it out in round number 3. 3, 2, 1, go. We are off and underway here. First movement on the board by St. Francis, but the first push in by Curran. Right now, it is tied 5-5 overall. St. Francis trying to knock that tower over to see what they can grab, and it looks like they're going to start to make a play for some of the oranges as well, just to defend themselves in case of a tower play by Curran.
Exactly.
Curran looking to push through. Don't necessarily see a lot of confidence in that claw to grip, but maybe as a wedge.
As a wedge or a bulldozer blade.
Well, they bulldozed their way
They
into the
did.
lead right now. It's 6-5 Curran with 1:09 left to go. St. Francis finds themselves in the unique position of trailing now at this point. Now we see Kern trying to make a play for the tower if they can grip that orange cube. Not quite. Oh, they got their claw wrapped around the base of that tower.
Don't want to get hung up on that.
Still waiting. Now they're going to try to push the orange in. We are tied at 6-6. St. Francis with their first points, but no! We have another play here to this near corner. 7-6 is the lead for Curran. They're going to look and see if they can get a cube in for multipliers now to extend that possible lead with 38 seconds left to go. Some communication on the St. Francis side to try to push a cube in. Doesn't matter what color, and they do.
They do.
So we are tied again at 7 apiece. We've got a potential stack to see if they can retake the lead right now on Curran's side with 22 seconds left to go. They've got the grip, they've got the lift, and they stack it. Looking for the release, it's on. Can they let go? 13 seconds left to go. It's on there. 1 point lead for Kern with 10 seconds remaining. St. Francis without a cube in play. Well, they're going to try to push that green one in. It's not fully in. They've got to get it all the way in. 2 seconds, 1 to go. That's in. That is in, ladies and gentlemen. It's happened.
It has.
At the end of 3 rounds of play, we have an 8-8 tie. We are going to overtime.
First time it is.
With this play,
Yes.
we will have at least a 3 seed in.
Yeah.
In overtime, that may overtake Rosedale, who earned 10 points in their victory.
Correct.
We didn't see any tower action, but we did see some stacking. I want to start off over here with St. Francis. Now, at a certain point, we decided color didn't matter. So what was that conversation? Because we definitely heard a lot of chatter on this side.
Well, we saw that they didn't use the oranges. And we were trying to use the oranges against them like we did the first round, but they didn't really use them. So we just decided to just push any blocks into the thing because our claw wasn't working.
Our claw was not opening.
So once it became clear that the towers were no longer in play, at a certain point, I want to say around the 45-second mark, the goal was just get back in. At one point, you noticed that Kern had taken the lead. Did that change the conversation?
Yes.
That's when we started to push them in.
Well, you pushed one in with just enough time. Let's talk about this moment at the end with this green cube. 2 seconds, the difference between going home and going to overtime. So walk us through that and that emotion.
It was a godsend.
Stressful.
It was
Yes.
crazy.
Yes, because Bronson, he had pushed the cube nearly, and there was like 1 centimeter that was hanging over the edge still, and then we were just telling him, go forward.
Well, you will go forward into overtime. Let's check in with our friends over at Curran. A very exciting comeback. You get your first lead of the afternoon, and you get your first stack. So, at a certain point, you recognized we're going to try to get orange. We're going to try to stack into the tower, but then you realized you had the open corner here, and this is where it really made the difference. To walk us through that shift of mindset.
So we were basically planning to do 2 right there and 1 right there, and then maybe try to stack, make one in the tower so it could multiply. But then we realized that it would be much easier if we would just make that, and it would be better, cause, yeah.
You had the first 2 in as well, and you were able to get a little bit of a momentum. That gave you some room to play around with some ideas. Did you notice early on that you were able to get a little bit of a faster pace as far as getting your cubes in compared to your opponents at this time?
Yes. because we were going for one color and then we noticed they were going for the same color. So we decided to change color and move on to another one.
Well, you're going to move on to overtime, and ladies and gentlemen, it is down to the wire. Please join us when we come back. It's going to be sudden death at the Do the Math Robot Rumble with a spot of the grand final in the line. Oh, I can't wait. Come on back.
All right, well, why not have sudden death with the Robot Rumble? We've had a great time with it all season, and it's got to end like this, right? Find out who's going to make it in that final spot. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Right now, we're going to have Nora, an 8th grade student. And what school do you attend?
Fruitvale Junior High.
Fruitvale Junior High. How's junior high going? Everything good?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay, right? Where are you going to high school next year, do you know?
Centennial.
All right, so you're looking forward to that and all the activities you're going to be doing there?
Yes, I think so.
All right, well, let's get this out of the way first. You ready? All right, over to the board. So you're once again working with volume, and you've already got a drawing up there. So explain to us, Nora, what you're going to do.
Okay, so I went ahead and drew the sphere, and we have our radius, which is 1.5, and then here is our equation. So okay, so we have 4, then 3.14 times 1.5, and then we'll square that and multiply those, and then divide it by 3.
Okay. Keep going. What are we going to multiply first?
This is 12.56, and then 1.5 square. I don't know that one either.
Cubed? Let's see.
Or yeah, cubed.
1.5 cubed.
Well, go ahead and do it
Go
quickly.
ahead. Yep, right here.
Okay, so I'll do squared first and then another time.
Okay. Yep.
5, 6,
That's 12. Oh, bring the 1 up, so it's going to be 2.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, and then so 2.25.
25, and we got to times that by 1 5/10 again. Right.
So 5, 6, 7.
Let me take this out of your way. There you go.
So I got 33.75.
Okay.
Move that decimal one place, though. There you
because
go.
there's 3 numbers,
yes.
remember? So it's actually 3 and 375 thousandths.
Okay. And then we'll divide that by 3. So we'll have to multiply, oops.
When you multiply everything on top, you're going to get 42.39.
42.
And 39 hundredths?
Correct.
Okay. And then we want to divide that all by 3.
Yes.
And I'll let you do that because you should be able to do that rather quickly.
Yeah.
Here, let me pull that down for you. Sorry.
Oh, thank
there
you.
you go.
3, 1.
Working well under pressure, about
Yes,
20
you
seconds
are.
left.
So what is our answer?
14.1.
Because we're rounding it to the what?
The tenths.
Nearest tenth. Good job. Nice job.
There you go. Perfectly done. Hey, you know what? Let's go find out about this sudden death with the Robot Rumble.
Welcome back to the Do the Math Robot Rumble. It's Devin Rossiter, Tom Henderson, and overtime. Tied up at 8-8 after a furious Kern comeback to win that final round 4-3. We've had towers, we've had stacks, we've had color strategy, drama, rebuilds, borrowing robots. Anything you can fathom, we've had it so far. All that's left is what we cannot dream of. We are all set. It's going to be one more round of 1:45. Whoever has the lead at that point goes on to our grand final. Tom, any last thoughts?
Man, I'm just excited to see what's going to happen.
It is overtime, and it is now. 3, 2, 1. Lots are underway. We've got our push. That's been the strategy that's worked so far for Kern. They've got the lead. Now a total of 9-8. Seating also on the line. for our victor, who will move on. They're going to try to push that second one in over on the Curran side. Again, that claw has been a tremendous wedge. Maybe stuck a little bit on the ramp to that scoring zone, so they've got to come up with another strategy. Maybe turn and twist it in. Is it all the way in there for Curran? Do they have the advantage? One is in, but they knocked another one out, so it's still just one. There it is. Now a 2-point advantage for the Crusaders. On the St. Francis side, still trying to get that one in. They've done so. 1:10 left to go. A 1-point advantage for Curran. Bob the Robot is here on this side. They're going to try to push one into the near corner here. They've got it. It's a 3-1 lead now. Can they stack? That was their claim to fame in round 3 to get them to overtime. A green in the hand with 54 seconds left to go. It's above. It's on top. Will it drop? No, it's out of the zone. But St. Francis has their second in. It is a 3-2 lead for Curran with 42 seconds remaining. St. Francis very much staying in their corner looking for that stack. Meanwhile, Curran with the 1-point advantage. They've got some wiggle room to play with. 30 seconds left to go. Still a 1-point advantage. Who's going to get that final, critical, crucial point? Still waiting to see if one can get in. It looks like some issues maybe with the claw. It's not gripping the way they want it to with 13 seconds left to go. Who's going to make the last big play with 10 seconds left? 8 seconds. Can they push it into this near corner with enough time with 5, 4, 3. Looks like the movement is done, and that will do it.
There you go.
By a final score of 11-10, congratulations go to the Crusaders of Curran Middle School, who advanced to our grand final. It seems like we found a strategy that worked. 2 in the corner, 1 in the near side, run to victory. Tell us a little bit about overtime.
So we were trying to go for the same thing we did last round, but then we had some difficulties making the other one, stacking the other one. So we tried and tried, but the time went by quickly, so.
2 things that really stood out. 1, it doesn't seem like the tower was even under consideration here.
No more. And we wasted too much time.
So you saw the tower as a time-consuming approach that may have contributed to maybe fewer points. So getting that 3rd cube you saw was your priority.
Yes.
When you were unable to stack that 4th one, what was going through your heads?
Well, we were just panicking, But then we saw that the other.
An orange one inside the tower so we could get 4 points.
So that was the conversation, but ultimately the play came to maybe back in. However, 1:45 was just enough time, and 3 cubes was just the right amount. So as far as our final standings, you will be moving on to the grand final, where I believe you will be facing the, correct me if I'm wrong, the Rosedale Middle School team, while in our other semifinal matchup, it'll be Rio Bravo Greeley versus Chipman. Ladies and gentlemen, the quarterfinals are over. We look ahead to March, the grand final. 4 schools, 1 gold, 1 trophy. We'll see you there, and hopefully we'll see you there as well for the Do the Math Robot Rumble Grand Final. It's coming. They'll be there. Send it back to the studio. Mike, take it away.
All right, well, with the anticipation of the final Robot Rumble coming about in a couple of weeks, we'll find out who our first grand prize winner of that Robot Rumble is. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30 this afternoon. We want to say thank you to Audrey, 6th grade student, and Nora, 8th grade student, getting ready for high school, for coming in today. And did you girls learn a little something else today doing your math problems? You learned a little bit easier way to do one of them?
Yeah.
There you go. That's the key right there. And did you have fun doing them today?
Yes.
Good. Well, we're glad you were able to come on in. And until we meet again, continue to do the math.
Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Bakersfield West Rotary Stroop Family Foundation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, Kern High School District, and AC Electric Company, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.